Hi, my name is Jumana Al. I'm 17 years old. I'm in 12th grade and I live in Jordan. I also speak Arabic and English.
Hello, my name is Antonia. I am Spanish and Chilean. I live in Chile. I speak Spanish and English, and I am in 12th grade.
And welcome to the first student podcast episode. We've been super excited to film this and to put this out for you guys. It's honestly going to be really, really fun, and we're just really excited to just get started and share everything with you guys. So, yeah. Um, I wanted to actually ask you, what do you plan on doing after you're finished with 12th grade? And like, what is your major? What do you want to specify, in an occupation?
So I am very interested on the health area, medicine, nursing. Well, as a lot of you may know, you have to do an undergrad that lasts 4 years, and then you have to do some tests in between, and then you have 4 years of medicine. So I would like to start with that undergraduate, and then I would like to go and choose medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's a really interesting thing because the school actually offers like anatomy and physiology if you're interested in that. I took anatomy and physiology this year, and I'm currently going to take it again, like in semester two, because it's a full year course. And it's a really interesting subject. It's really cool. I learned a lot. It was very useful because I'm someone like that. I have an interest in health and, but I can never be a doctor. I can never be a nurse. I cannot deal with that. That's why I'm planning to be somewhere in an office. Like, I'm planning to become a lawyer. And similar to, going into the health field, you have to have an undergrad and then you have to go to law school, right? You have to go to
Yeah.
grad school. So that whole situation.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how long have you been here? Like, how long have you been in the school?
I started the school. I enrolled in 11th grade, so I did all 11th grade here, and since I am in 12th year of high school, I am finishing this entire school experience. The school has been fitting everything great for me. When I go on vacations, they just stop the platform for me, and then once I come back, I just take it right from where it started. I don't have a lot of things to do after it, which is something that happens regularly on other schools. Physical or online schools still happen, which
Mm-hmm.
is some sort of like punishment for you to go on vacations. I also know a lot of people in the school that do different activities, sports, and they're great on that,
Yeah.
arts, they're musicians. So this school, for that matter, just works perfectly.
Yeah, it's a very flexible program. I mean, I know for me, right, because of my specific circumstances that I was like put in where I was raised in the United States my entire life and having moved to Jordan only like 3 years ago, I went to school here in Jordan for like a year and a half. And when I tell you, I could not like manage because yes, I know how to speak Arabic fluently. Um, the reading and the writing aspect, again, I know how to do, but only like in a informal way. Whereas in school, you have to know these like very complex phrases and this very complex grammar, and Arabic has really complex grammar. So it's honestly really hard. But when 11th grade was starting to come around, I told my mom, I was like it's not gonna work for me to like stay at the school. I need to find an alternative, something online that has accreditation in America that I could study that's in English. Like this is what I need. And honestly, did my research and I found the school. And they told me that they were accredited by the Board of Education in Florida. So I was like, that's great. It works perfectly for me. And I was like, yeah. So I signed up in 11th grade as well. And I've been here ever since, and I'm in 12th grade, and yeah, I'm really excited, to be finished and to go on to college and everything. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
the enrolling process also in the school was very easy, quick.
yeah,
I was also amazed by it, and well, I was a little bit hesitant at first to
yeah,
join an online school because lately, well, with the pandemic, a lot of schools have a peer. Some of them are real, some are not. We
Yeah.
actually almost got scammed
Mhm.
before the school with another one. So we were like, is this real or not? But then we had a meeting with my consultant, and it was just great. They spoke to us, even in Spanish.
I know they have a lot, like a lot of the teachers at the school, they speak multiple languages, and they are able to like talk to multiple people from all around the world, which is really, really interesting. Um, I can definitely say like my experience with the school has been nothing but positive. Every teacher that I've met, they've been one extremely accommodating, extremely nice and kind and just patient. And I think that's like something that's super healthy in a school environment that you don't really see in regular school, like in physical school, because teachers aren't as supportive as they could be or as flexible as they could be to your circumstances. Whereas like, with our school, it's a little bit different because they are flexible to your circumstances and they kind of like trust you to be, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. Like, yeah, they might be going through something. There might be something that's happening that makes them unable to like do this amount of work. So let's help them out. They're kind of really dedicated to helping us kind of like navigate everything and learn at our own pace rather than in a forced pace, which I honestly thought for me personally was like top tier.
Yes.
Um,
For me as well, with math, specifically with math, I have always struggled a lot with it.
Mhm.
So going on my own pace has just changed everything.
Mhm.
Also, Miss Bo has been an excellent math tutor. I
Amazing
really,
teacher. She's
yes,
my
I know
tutor.
that you have it as well.
Yeah, she's my tutor. When I tell you she's like like top of the top, I love having her as a tutor. She's honestly so amazing. And I praise her to anyone that I can when I say she's honestly amazing. And all of the other teachers are amazing as well. Every single one that I've met so far, I've not met one that is not as amazing as both. They've all been really, really good.
Yes, history as well.
Yeah.
That can be a little bit more tiring. It's just so well explained by teachers, and at the same time, you can do things by yourself,
Mhm.
assignments. You can do some things before. You can take some subjects, and then change and switch to the others. So you can do your own schedule, and I feel like it's so positive to have that prior to university.
Mhm.
So when you go to university, you know how to manage your own schedule. You're more
Exactly.
independent.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. I mean, personally, for me, time management is something that I've always struggled with. I'm not good at it to this day. I'm not the best at it. But with the school, I've always kind of like I've had to learn how to manage my own time and, figure out how to set up my day in a way that gives me the chance to do my work in a timely manner. So I feel like that's something that I kind of benefited. Um, Other than that, right? There's also kind of like the clubs that they have at the school, which I participated in. I don't know if you did as well. If you did.
Yes, I participated of the book club, and it was great. The teacher was excellent. You can share your opinions. I have always loved reading, and also the books are very, very in sync with what I am reading. So it was just perfect. Also with the new student council that we have, there are lots of activities. If any of you are worried about having friends, meeting people from the school, it's perfect. It's great. And also in your platform, you have your own calendar. If you don't know how to manage very well your schedule at first, they also give you something to follow,
Yeah.
which has just been perfect.
Yeah, I know, of course. I wanted to ask you if you've ever traveled anywhere, other than where you live.
Yes.
Mhm.
Since I am Spanish, I go to Spain quite a lot. Once in a year, I try to see my family and friends.
Mhm.
And well, when I am there, I just go on trips to different parts of Spain or Europe. This year, I went to Scandinavia. Denmark, and also Denmark and Norway, the Norwegian fjords, and well, Germany. And it was just amazing. And as I said, I just came back and retook school right when I left it.
I have traveled to not many places, if I'm being honest. It's usually just like I've been to the US, I've been to Jordan, I've been to Egypt, and I've been to Saudi Arabia. That's pretty much the extent like of my travels. I want to travel so much more. I think for me personally, traveling is like such an amazing hobby. You can learn so much about everywhere. Also, something interesting about the school is that you meet a lot of people from like so many other places. So you get to like learn about other cultures and other places.
Yes. Also, we have tutors for the different idioms that we can learn in the school. And I was actually amazed because in general, in Chile, we don't have many people from Asia or in general any other country.
Yeah.
Rather than the South American ones. So I have never had such an international experience. Mainly people from Asia, well, Russia, are just something that you cannot see here.
Yeah.
And it has been great to share with them, to know them, know about their culture and their idiom. And that's why I also invite everybody to be part of this podcast as a guest.
Yeah.
You can come and talk about yourself, your accomplishments, in which grade you are.
Yeah. In fact, actually, we're planning to be putting a Google form, and that will be shared when obviously it will be shared. You will know. But once it is shared, people can put their names, and it will be randomly generated. It's not like a by choice thing because we don't really know everybody in the school, right? So it'll just be randomly generated, and if you're picked, you will come on and we'll talk and we'll have some fun and we'll laugh. So that's gonna be a really fun, podcast and an episode within itself. We're also planning to have the athletes that we know are in the school that are athletes within their own city and within their own community, and obviously attend our school as well, and that we're going to bring them on here as guests, which will make this also very, very interesting and very fun. Yeah. Other than obviously medicine, like what are some of your interests?
Personally, as I said, I love reading. I love as well watching movies about the books that I have read. Compare them, which is great. And I did sports my entire life. Right now, I don't have time for sports.
Yeah.
Rather than sometimes going swimming and stuff like that. Well, I have a pool in my house, so that's just great. So, well, right now it's winter. I cannot use it, unfortunately. Right now I am reading, concentrating a lot in school since my last year. And well, if you didn't know, since well, Chile right now it's winter, so it has been snowing. I live an hour and 30 minutes away from the Andes. So we have beautiful sights from my house.
Yeah.
I'm glad we do, but also we have hot summers. Chile is actually a not very well-known country, unlike the others. It's just small. It is also known as the end of the world because of how south it is, the southest country in Latin America.
Wow.
And yeah, it's very different from the other countries. I feel like, well, Latin America is divided on like the Caribbean, so all the countries from the Caribbean are more similar. Then you have the ones from Central America, and then you have South America. But even South America is very different. In Brazil, it never snows. That's why they come here to the Andes and to the different ski resorts. Just skiing, you can also meet a lot of people from Brazil.
Yeah.
Because of that during winter.
Yeah. No, this past year has kind of been crazy because like the weather has been off. Here, winter didn't start till I think like end of December, which is not usual. It usually starts like like November-ish type. Like that's when it starts being winter, like starts being cold. But before, like that's when it usually does. This year it was way too late. Like it only started being cold everywhere during that time. And so we kind of had a pretty long summer. It was like what was it? Started like March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and half of December. So almost like 10 months of winter. You think about all of the things that have happened in the past year, and you did not personally, I think this year went by faster than any other year before. Like,
Yes, for me as well.
right? Like it just felt like I was in January, and now like we're almost, mid-July, almost August, like almost finished. My birthday's almost here. I'm almost 18. This is gonna be
Yes.
yeah.
My mom always told me, since I was a little kid from like preschool, she always said, your last year of school is the one that goes by the fastest. And I never really believe it because all of the other years went by normal, I
Yeah.
guess. But this year has been crazy. I actually missed out some dates because I thought that it was not July yet. I got a little bit confused with it, and I just lost some things that I needed to do. So it's just crazy to think that we're already on July,
Yeah.
going on the second semester, our last semester
Our
officially of
last
school.
semester, which is something that's crazy. Like personally, I'd never envisioned like obviously online school being like my high school experience because you kind of get like FOMO. I have a lot of friends in the US going to physical school, and when they graduated in May, I got so much FOMO, which was like fear of missing out, because they were at their graduation ceremony and they were walking and they were handed their diploma and that whole situation. So you're just sitting there and you're just like trying to hold back tears whenever, like, not actual tears but like fictional tears, like, dang, I
Yeah.
get that, but I mean at the same time, like, we also get so many privileges that they don't. All right, like
Yeah.
we get the chance to travel throughout the year if we want to, and they don't. They only can do it on breaks. We can do it on breaks, without breaks, anytime we want to. Like I'm traveling this upcoming week to Egypt on Thursday.
Mhm.
So that's my like thing.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to, go there and visit. I've been there a couple times before. Egypt's honestly such a fun place to go. It's so interesting. They have so much history. So honestly, very, very fun. Um, but yeah, no, it's like we get so many privileges that they don't. And that's something that I can say, like, we can, we can be like, okay, you know what, traded a graduation for the ability to travel when I want. How,
And so much flexibility.
yeah.
And also, well, here, I personally don't feel like I am missing out anything.
Mhm.
Because I am so glad that I am in this school. I, for example, don't gonna get into a Chilean university. I would like to study abroad. So I would not have to do any test, standardized university admission
Yeah.
test. That is, by the way, on my birthday. So it's just great that I will not have to do that.
Yeah. No, that's something like, I actually did take the SATs, but I had to sign up on my own. The SATs as like a standardized test. It is, here's the thing. The questions and like the type of math that it asks and the type of English that it asks you to like do, it's not hard, okay? But the way that they phrase it is what can trick you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, well, the American high school diploma, it's internationally recognized,
Mhm.
which was one of my main concerns. Like, after studying in the school, am I going to be accepted in a university?
Yeah.
And it might sound a little bit crazy, but I already sent my admission, like prerequisites and stuff like that. And they said that they do recognize the high school diploma. So if any of you fear that, don't, because it is.
Yeah. I have
International.
yeah. I actually met someone in the school who has an older sister that graduated from the school and is in college, and she's doing great. He's the student council president currently. His name is Wasim. Obviously everybody knows the student council. They are planning events and they're doing so many great things and so many fun things. So if you guys also want to join that, email Miss Bianca, I believe, and she'll put you on like their email list or something of that sort. I really don't know how it works, but at the same time, right, it's so fun, and they have like so many fun events, and they plan it, and they also take your concerns. If you have any concerns and issues, you can also take that up with them, and they'll help you solve those issues and get down to the bottom of it. So that's also something that I feel like the school kind of taught us to do on our own, because like with physical school, these things are already happening. Like the school plans it out. Whereas like with us, we have to like initiate it. And so we're kind of given like the opportunity to learn how to initiate these things. I was in like debate club, and for me, thankfully, like I kind of feel happy about it. Not bragging, but I never lost a debate. And that for me personally was like really, really fun. I love debating. Again, I want to be a lawyer, so I love it.
It's part of it.
Yeah, preparation. But I love debating. I think debating about like complex topics, that's such an interesting thing to do, whether it's like about books, movies. I'll literally debate about anything. I don't care. But that's so fun, that they have stuff like that. They had a movie club. They obviously, like you said, had a book club. They have a gaming club. Obviously, these clubs are not active right now since it's, I guess, the summer period, even though you're obviously still in school. But they will be active soon, I believe, in September is what I was told. So hopefully they are, and when they are, you guys can join, and they're really, really fun. I do suggest it for everybody. They're fun. You can also get recommendations from the teachers that lead the clubs that say she was active in this club and she was doing really, really well, something like that.
We also have our own space on the school webpage, the student council and the podcast, so you can also see it there.
Yeah.
And well, in general, we are just so happy about this. We saw the teachers one, we watch it, and it's very interesting. But here it's like our space, our student space,
Yeah.
corner, however you want to call it, to just participate. So if any of you really feel like coming here, just talk to us. Feel
Yeah,
free to do it.
exactly. That's honestly something that we are really, really, really excited to see, is bring people on to talk about not only their interests, but their experiences in life, and not only in the school, obviously. Because this podcast is not only just a school podcast, it's something for everybody in the school as a student to enjoy. If they have specific hobbies or anything of that sort, we'll probably talk about it at some point. So that's where the excitement really comes from, is that this is not only something that like is surrounded by the school, it's also something that we want to pique with for your interest. And I think that's something that I'm also really, really excited for.
Also, if any of you want to talk about movies or anything like that, you can come here and talk about it.
Also, if you have suggestions about topics that you want us to talk about within obviously a respectful and just very cohesive and uncontroversial topic area, I guess you could say, then feel free to also email us and let us know your topics and your suggestions and things of that sort. One thing that I think I wanted to touch on was the fact that personally for me, right, switching from physical school to online school and that entire adjustment, how was that for you? Because how was that for you?
Well, for me, it was not that hard since on 2020 the pandemic started, and my school was actually for athletes. I was in the national team and the remit gymnast national team, and then I was trying to get into the synchronous swimming one, but it got canceled because of COVID. So I just kept going with that school, that athlete school. We had less hours of school than regular Chilean schools do. The school didn't know how to manage the entire pandemic thing. So it was just not working out for me. But we were already somehow doing online classes. But then when I found this school, which was so organized, I had my schedule. I can, schedule my own classes when it fits my time. The teachers, for me, the teachers are extremely important. I had to feel like they actually care about me, which is something that I just never felt in any of the schools that I have been in Chile. And I'm just so grateful for it. I have a tutor that was in the school, Miss Mary, and she helped me so much. I immediately felt part of the school from the first class. So that's what really kind of made me feel part of the family that the school is at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think also one thing, like, for me, the transition, because of the way that it was, studying wise, because for me, I was studying in Arabic, and because I was studying in Arabic, I had to like work 10 times harder than everybody else. Because everybody knew the language, with the grammar and with everything. They knew it way better than I did. I know how to speak it, I know how to write informally, I know how to speak and everything, but formal Arabic is, again, such a hard thing to know. So obviously I didn't know it like to that extent. So I had to work 10 times harder to learn physics in Arabic, to learn math in Arabic, to even though math is obviously, again, it's the same in every language you take it in, there's still the terms and everything of that sort.
Explanation as
Yeah,
well.
different language. So obviously I need to know what, for example, like a function in Arabic is a different word, obviously. So I have to know that. You know, a logarithm is a different whole thing. So again, all of these things, I had to work 10 times harder to learn because it was so hard for me to like with the language barrier. Whereas now it's like the adjustment became so much easier, but at the same time, like I had to dial it down with how much note taking I was taking. I had to dial it down with how much time I was spending on courses because it was with a language that I knew, but I had gotten so used to like being so extremely thorough and just like going 10 extra miles that it was so hard to dial it back to just a regular pace so that I can kind of get in the rhythm of things. But then also, like, when you dial it back, you can dial it back too much and then procrastinate. And that's not good. So it's definitely, you know, how are you with procrastination? Because I know personally, I procrastinate quite a bit. I will be honest. I do put off things. I've done it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Well, at first, when I was in the national team and in another school, I didn't have time to procrastinate. It was just practice, eat, repeat, sleep. It was just a routine, and I couldn't miss anything. I couldn't just be scrolling on my phone or anything like that. But since I stopped doing that, I did start procrastinating more. But at the same time, I try to do like a detox, try to like manage it, even though it's very complicated because I am in my house most of the time. But I tried to delete my social media, which is something that I told you about. But it just didn't work for Instagram. A lot of you may relate to this, but some of my friends were just writing to me, texting me, and I told them to not text me on Instagram, but they kind of didn't. We're so used to it. We're a generation that is so in touch with all social media and phone things that it has been complex, honestly. But again, if you try to create yourself a schedule that you can follow, it will be better. Like in schools, regular schools, I believe that this happens all around the world. You have your break times, then you have lunch, then you have classes. Everything is done to you. That's why you gotta learn how to be more independent. But at the end of the day, that is good because, as I said, in university, people, teachers, friends are not going to help you as much as they do now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think for me, procrastination became such a big thing when I switched online because like if I wasn't studying online, if I wasn't like doing some other like hobby in the house, right? I was on my phone. And then through that, right, I became very dependent on my phone for everything. You know, you want to look something up, you obviously have your phone, you want the time, your phone or your Apple Watch or whatever tech that you have. You want a map, your phone, calculator, your phone, everything's on your phone, right? So we became so dependent. I know myself personally, I became extremely dependent on my phone that it kind of like not only was I like very dependent on it, but I also became like it became like sort of like separation anxiety. I did not want to be separated from my phone, which was so bad. And to this day, I do think I have a little bit of that because like my phone makes me feel just comfortable. Like I feel so much comfortable when my phone's in my hand and I know it's like not dead and it's alive and I can use it as much as I want. that's the thing, for me, I think that we struggle with right now is that everybody's so dependent and reliant on technology, and I don't think that's really healthy. I think we should like do our best to stay away. I'm not the best at this. I shouldn't even be talking about this because again, so reliant on technology for everything. But at the same time, right? It's also hard for us to not be reliant on technology, especially with being an online school. We're studying on our laptop, or we're taking notes on our laptop. Where everything's done on our technology rather than.
Yeah. The last thing that I wanted to ask you about to start finishing this,
Yeah.
it's how has been your experience with the group classes that we have?
Here's the thing. When I book group classes, I like usually, if it's not math, if I'm booking for something else, I usually end up being the only one because apparently, I know this for a fact that the younger kids, right, the ones like 10th grade and lower, they end up having more people in their group classes. But once you reach 11th grade and 12th grade, you stop seeing people in class at all, which is so interesting because apparently, like, right, the kids that are older, they don't go to group classes. The only time that I've seen people go to group class was for math, and math makes sense, or like chemistry or something of that sort, you know. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was it for me. What about you?
Well, in general, I feel like there are some classes like language arts, the American government that, well, I don't know why, but I find more people in those classes rather than the other ones. And since I am also class representative for 12th grade, if I find anyone, I will ask them what do they need, if I don't know they had any problem or suggestion, and so I bring that up to the student council, which is also great. But in general, everybody's willing to participate. It works good. I have been in classes with Mr. Sergio, and everybody was just working with him. It was pretty much working out. You can also have classes with a tutor. I prefer those for math and physics since numbers tend to be my weakness. So I need to be a little bit more slow, go with it, breathe, just take my time. And that's also good. You have your moment to socialize, group classes, share with the rest. But also, if you need your space, you can have it. You can have both. In regular schools, you don't.
Yeah. I think one thing that I didn't like specifically about the group classes was that it was specifically for math. Is that when the teacher is like, okay, she asks who needs help, she only takes one person, and we're like on that one person's assignment or quiz or whatever, or just whatever they're doing, whatever they need help with, and we're just on theirs for the entire class, and she's just helping them, and we're just watching. And while yes, okay, we do learn, it's still like she could help that person with like, for example, like 2 questions, and then like move on to the next person. That way everybody could get a chance to be helped. The other person could like probably understand, from like the 2-3 questions that she explained, because usually the assignments are about like the same topic. So that's one thing, I didn't really like about the math classes. Yeah.
I guess that's a tricky part of also having this self-paced platform because we are not on the same things. Even though, for example, we are on 12th grade, you are on semester 8, I am on semester 8, but you may be finishing your last module, but I am probably on module 2 or 3. So that's a little bit of like kind of disconnection between the two of them. But in general, everything's positive. There are more things that are good than the bad ones, and there are just some things that don't kind of fit, but you can still make them fit. And if you want the social part, but maybe not really the classes, you feel better with your tutor, you can also participate of the student council things that have nothing to do with subjects. It's more like bingos or activities. So it's a lot of fun. We encourage you all to participate in podcasts, like different activities, book clubs. And well, I
Oh,
don't
and
know
the
if you want
different activities that the student council plans, that's also something that you guys need to know. So yeah,
Yes.
this was obviously our first episode of the student podcast. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, the next episodes, this is kind of an introduction episode to get you guys to understand what this might be about. We're going to be talking about many different things. Obviously, we'll talk about pop culture, movies, books, travel, everything that you guys may want to talk about, sports, just anything really, that might pique everybody's interest. And yeah, so this was the first episode. Let's honestly just be happy that we did it, and it's gonna be out soon. Make
I
sure
would like to
also, yeah. Okay.
thank you to all the teachers that help us with the podcast, for listening to us, and for creating this space. And we wish that everybody would like to participate. And well, we will see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, we're so excited. Thank you guys, and if you guys do watch, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, if you guys have any suggestions for podcast episodes or podcast topics within respectful topic area, feel free to like suggest it. Not only that, but also this is, I believe, going to be up on the school's sub channel, is what I believe. So make sure to also check out the teachers podcast, because that's also really
Yes.
fun. I watched the
Subscribe.
podcast and it's live.
Subscribe and like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure to subscribe and like it. Not only our podcast, but the teachers podcast. Make sure to check out the clubs when they first come back in September, when they do, if they do. And also make sure to check out the student council and their events. And if you do want to be informed, again, let a teacher know, and she will let a tutor, one of your tutors, or one of your teachers know, and they will, lead you to the student council. So thank you guys so much for listening to us talk and talk and talk about everything. And I had really so much fun. I hope you also, Antonia, had fun doing this with me.
Yes, yes. Don't forget to check out the school's Instagram to be updated on the activities and different things that they are also posting.
Yes.
So basically that. Thank you very much. Like this video. And we will see each other on the next
Like
one.
this video. All right. Bye.
Bye.